Be your own best customer. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, if you think about it, when we bring people into our world, we want the transformation. We want to be able to solve somebody's problem and help them. We want a repeat customer. We want a satisfied customer. We don't want people to be cheap. We don't want people to race to the bottom. We don't want to give low, bad quality service. We want to exceed expectations. Now, at the same time, that comes with an investment, right? We want people to invest in our product and service, and we need to do the same thing. Are we our own best customer? Are we setting ourselves up with the right habits? And that's what I'm going to recommend for you to do. When's the last time that you personally gave yourself a reward, pampered yourself, like an extremely incredible, awesome opportunity experience, like buying a product or service you might not have normally bought, or just going a little bit outside of your range just so you can experience how things are packaged differently, how things are served to you differently, just so you can get the little packaging and pampering and the quality that comes around those experiences. Because a lot of times what we do is the opposite. We actually, a lot of it, not everybody, I'm not saying you specifically, but you probably know people. Maybe it's the people on the other side of you somewhere in your world. In that, what happens is that a lot of times we focus on price and then we drive things down when we go out to purchase things. But then in reverse, we're trying to go out and have other people create different types of habits by trying to convince them to invest more, pay premium, things like that, right? Now, the reason why I say this is because we have the opportunity when we create our offers, when we put our products or services, whether it's coaching, courses, memberships, and even when it's real world opportunities with products and services. If we actually start off at the price point that we want to attract, and then we build in what we're willing to do to make that price point seem so attractive, then we start seeing things differently. We start looking into packaging differently, how we're going to deliver things, how we're going to communicate, what the follow-up system is, the entire client experience. And the reason why I say this is because if you don't think about this, sometimes what we're offering in the market didn't have this thought process going on. So what I'd love you to do is go back and re-look at what is the perfect client experience. If you can put a different lens on, instead of like how I'm not saying you specifically, this is a general term, but if you're always looking for the best deal, the cheapest price, and again, that comes at a cost in a lot of ways, instead of you doing that and then you having that type of mindset when you created your offer to put it into the market, because you know people are going to try to get your price down. They always want the cheapest. So what are you doing? You're kind of slowly minimizing your service, your packaging, your client experience. So instead, start with the price that you do want to attract and then create an offer around it. What would make that an incredible, irresistible offer? Because then more people are going to be attracted to it because the offer, like how you package it and how you put it together, has such a high, incredible, perceived value that instead of putting something in saying, oh, people are only willing to pay this much money, so I'm going to try to do as minimal as possible. Can you see how that, a $10 item, let's use an example of a membership, a $10 a month membership, you're going to think differently as far as what you're willing to give as far as resources for that, right? And experience than if you had a $1,000 a month membership. Solving the same problem, wouldn't you think differently? What would you naturally think differently because you started with the price point? So instead of doing the opposite, here's my product or service and what's the minimum that I can do, start off with the price point that you want to achieve and then reverse engineer it. Because we need to be our client. So we need to have a different lens. Let's stop looking at how can we get things so cheap and say to ourselves, what would make this an irresistible offer? If I was going to spend this much money, what experience would I want? What is the perfect member, the perfect client experience?